Hey guys, this is Dom from mobiledom.co.uk and today I have a rant video. What else? Got some notes written down here. This is my Apple/iOS rant, and the theme of it is please Apple stop copying. Apple were once known as the innovators in the technological space. They were the first company to use a capacitive touchscreen on the original iPhone. They were the first to use FireWire on their iPods and their computers. Some things were just... Apple have made a lot of firsts, and people associate Apple with individuality, with originality, and as we've learned from WWDC 2011, that's no longer the case. Let's just say iOS 5. Apple has blatantly ripped off about, off the top of my head I can think of about 3 companies. Like, this is just me, but I think in my mind, I reckon Steve Jobs just went into Apple and said, at WWDC this year guys, let's see how many companies we can just piss off. Because parts of iOS 5 like Notification Center, like that's it there. Notification Center is a let's clean my notifications, is a blatant rip-off of the notification bar in Android. Even down to, like, you can't see it on mine. Ooh, slightly close. Don't know if that'll do anything. No. Well, on the bottom of an Android device, when you scroll down on your notification bar, there's 3 little lines, like the sort of grab here to swipe up and down. And if you look at images of iOS 5 on iOS 5 on the Apple iPhone, when they slide down the notification bar, it's got those 3 or 4 little lines at the bottom. I was like, alright then, pretty similar. You can also act on notifications like slide them out of the way. You can delete them, and it's like, that's even more like Android. And it's like, alright then, strange things. But so as Google, they've pissed off. iMessage is just a blatant rip-off of the very famous BlackBerry Messenger. Like literally to a T. I mean, like on see this again. On a device, a BlackBerry device, you get delivery notifications. So if it's been sent, if it's been received, if they read it, and the date and everything was sent. And Apple have literally just said, do you know what, we want a bit of that, and they've just gone and taken it. And it's just like, wow, like just really wow. Another thing, in the camera application in Android, I'm not sure, on mine, you can use the volume up button to actually take the photo. Sorry, I'm a very popular person. But on my device, just take a picture behind me if I can. Press the button. Takes a bit longer, I've got a slow processor. But pressing down the volume up button focuses, letting go, takes a photo, which Apple have said, that's also pretty good, that we should use that. I mean, we're not putting hardware buttons on. We're not putting hardware shutter buttons, you might as well do that as well. I was like, how many more things can you do? I mean, and then they went and did Newsstand, which I reckon just got Instagram a bit pissed off. And it's just like, why? And it's just, Apple basically said, well, everyone else does it, we might as well. I mean, no, there's no harm. I mean, no one else is getting told off for it, so why should we? Well, that's sort of true with, that's sort of true. But how can you sue Samsung for having your icons look a tiny bit like yours when you've just basically taken out the core functionality of Android itself? I'm not sure. So I think from iOS 5, and Apple's going to get a couple of invoice in the post. I think they're going to get sued by a couple companies just because it's so like other products already available. But because it's Apple, I fear that they're just going to get away with it. Apple seem to get away with anything because they're Apple, which I don't think is fair. Every other company seems to go under scrutiny. But because it's the cult of Apple, if you have a iDevice, you will buy the rest of the iDevices. I have an iDevice. I have the 6th generation iPod Nano, the touchscreen one. And I have in the past owned an iPhone 3G, but they're nothing special. The iPod, it's a music player. I bought it because it has very good audio quality, and do you know what? I can't stand to use the iPod headphones. iPod headphones are terrible, so I use my own headphones. I use the iPod because of its superior audio quality. I use the iPhone because at the time it was new, and I thought, you know, I might as well try, see what everyone else is ranging on about, and I used it for a few months. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I find Android, WebOS, BlackBerry, even Butter a lot more fulfilling. They're platforms which I would rather spend time with than iOS itself. I mean, I think over the weekend I went to pocketnow.com, and in Cydia there's already third-party sort of widgets that go into your iOS 5 taskbar that will simulate my quick launch icons. I have Wi-Fi, GPS, mute and orientation lock, and this app lets you customize that as well, and it's just like you're just asking for it, really. And then I think Apple sees it as converged, and I think, and I'm moving on to Mac OS X Lion now. Apple sees it probably as conversion. I think it's more like running out of ideas. I mean, yeah, all the new gestures they've put in, some of them are pretty cool. I could see myself using mission control if I owned a Mac. I don't. I own a Windows and a Linux machine. If I use the Mac with Lion, I could probably see myself using one of those gestures. Apart from one, Launchpad. They said, well, we have the iPad with iOS, and we have the MacBook Air with OS X. Let's see how much closer we can make these. And do you remember those gestures we found in iOS 4.2 beta? You know, you scrunching from the screen to go back to your home screen, 3 fingers up to see your multitasking, 3 fingers sideways to switch through. Yeah, most of those are pretty switched over to, they were turned off in 4.3, but they were apparently implemented into Lion. So a 4-finger scrunch like that, you could probably make an animated GIF, but yeah, 4-finger scrimping in like that will open up Launchpad, which is basically iOS. It's a grid of every application you have on your Mac, and it just looks like an iPhone, or it just looks like iOS, just grids and grids and pages of icons, and it's just like, but why? There's never a problem with the way we interfaced with computers before. People were never going, oh, I can't find this. If they were, universal search. I think in Mac it's called Spotlight. In Windows button, in the start menu, there's a universal search, and it's a very powerful thing, universal search. Just type in the first few letters, it finds everything on your computer like that, not just applications. So that'd be a lot more useful. Then I had things like, versions. So, if you, had I'm not going to say Word document, I think it's called Notes. You can see how much time I spend with Macs. If you had Notes open and you were editing a document every now and then, you saved it, or you don't even need to save it, auto saves now. which I think is a good feature. Office has had it for a while, but yeah, it auto saves, but it also saves versions. So if you say, I think they used a presentation about guitars they were making, like the history of guitars. If you made a massive mistake and you lost the first 3 pages or the last couple pages or the last couple images, and you saved it by accident, you could go back through the versions to totally lost for words here. You go back through the version to find the previous version with before you made all those stupid changes, which I'll admit is pretty handy and other platforms could use, but it just makes me think of why has it taken you so long? Other companies have been able to do this for ages. Why is Apple just doing it now? But annoyingly, because it's, and I've said this before and time again, and I probably always will end up saying it, because it's Apple, people go, oh my god, how did they do that? It's like, many people think Apple created video calling with FaceTime on the iPhone 4. Truth, that is probably true in America. In Europe, we've had video calling for many years. We had it over 3G. I mean, I had it on one of my first phones, the LG Beauty. It had a massive, like probably 1.3 megapixel camera up front, which I made video calls over 3G with. And it's but it's a novelty. I think my dad and like 2 of my friends had video camera, like front-facing video enabled smartphones, just phones. And at the time, I was probably about 13, but you've got to think, what is the point of this? And people think Apple created video calling with FaceTime, and it's just not true. And I should really turn that off. Sorry about that. Yeah. And it's the same with like tablets, the iPad. People think Apple created the tablet. Microsoft created the tablet in like 2001. But because it's Apple, people think this is magic, this is revolutionary. How do they knew what we were thinking. They knew what we were thinking because it's been running around the web for like 5 years or whatever. And they've seen what Microsoft did and gone, do you know what, that's quite revolutionary. That could work. But if we just like spruce it up a bit, put a bit of metal on there, better touchscreen, make it thinner, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can make it work. And each incremental upgrade that Apple does to its iDevice line, like, some things will be massive, like the jump from the 3GS to the iPhone 4. Completely different. I mean, new body, new chip inside, new screen, new camera, and that is pretty revolutionary. But when you go from the 3G to the 3GS, you got to go, alright, so I've got autofocus and a slightly faster processor. But with the iPad and the iPad 2, it's a pretty substantial thing as well. I mean, it got thinner, lighter, and it had a dual-core processor. But I've had an iPad 1 and an iPad 2 in either of my hands at my friend's house. Luckily, I have quite rich friends. Sorry about that. But I never thought the old iPad was that slow, and even compared to an iPad 2, I never thought it was that slow. I never saw the need to have a dual-core processor, and it's the same with phones. I mean, I'm starting to feel, my phone is, I think is starting to feel the age. It's a 600 megahertz processor, which in 2011 is it's showing its age. But it still runs fast. I mean, if it was 800 megahertz, I'd be happy, I wouldn't be talking about it. But just tiny little things that you go, was that really necessary? So, I think I just went like ranty on so many different subjects, but if you can like comment in the description box, what do you think about Apple's recent, what should we call them? We'll just call them changes. What do you think of Apple's recent changes to its iOS and OS X platforms? Leave comments in the description box. leave comments in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. You can catch me up at Twitter, twitter.com/mobile_dom. I mean, the links I'll probably put like superimpose what the links are up there. It's twitter.com/mobile_dom. You can hit me on the website, www.mobile-dom.co.uk. I also do consultations, like what phone should I buy, what tablet should I buy. I can also do those, and they are personal to each person. It's not automated response. That is actually me responding to those, and that email address is domenico@mobile-dom.co.uk. Like I said, I'll superimpose all those links on above my red hair. Until next time, guys, this is Dom. Peace.